Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, in additional instruction, please listen carefully. You are about to hear evidence that defendants' representations to lenders and other individuals and entities were not accurate during the time before the acts charged in this case. This evidence is not admitted to prove a character trait of the defendant or to show that she acted in a manner consistent with that trait. You may consider this evidence, if at all, for the limited purpose of determining defendant's motive. Keep in mind that the defendant is on trial for the crimes charged in this case and for those crimes only. You may not convict the defendant simply because you believe she may have committed some other acts at some other time. Mr. Bloodworth, please proceed.
Ms. Karrington, what information does this provide?
So, as I said, there's the header, Kouri Richins Realty, LLC. The account number is 6577, and the statement of May 2021. And then...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. And then in the summary section, you can see that there's 3 different accounts that are reported on this statement, and collectively at month end, the balance was $210,898.
Did you attempt to verify this bank statement?
I did.
Scott, can I have 5-29 alpha?
I think the witness can see it.
Okay.
Can you see it?
I do now. Sorry.
Okay.
Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
It is the America First Credit Union statement for Kouri Richins Realty from America First for the account number 6577 for May of 2021. And this was directly from the credit union pursuant to a prosecution subpoena.
Ma'am, what does this present?
This shows in the header, the Kouri Richins Realty, LLC. This time it's using that P.O. Box 759 in Camas. This is for the account number 6577, and this is the May of 2021 statement.
And what does it show as the balance?
It shows 2 accounts, not 3, and the total at month end is $15,609.93.
And what, ma'am, does this present?
So in the header, we can see the company is C&E Stone Masonry, LLC, which is Eric Richinss and his business partner's company, and their account is 7664, and this is the account statement for May of 2021.
And what is the ending balance?
The ending balance of those 3 accounts is $210,898.61.
Is it accurate then that the statement provided by the lender Ironbridge contained the header of Kouri Richins Realty and the account summary for C&E Stone Masonry?
That's right, and also the body of the transactions.
Scott, if you could scroll down to the bottom and enlarge that, please. Yes. And then, Scott, if you can scroll up to Ms. Richins' reply, please. Thank you, Scott. Ms. Karrington, did you analyze whether all of Kouri Richins' credit card delinquencies were paid off in July of 2021?
I did.
Were they?
No.
Ms. Karrington, what information does this provide?
Well, starting with the top on the right is it's called a bait stamp number. That's something that's applied after the fact, so that tells me that this came from Ironbridge. This is then the secured promissory note between Kouri Richins Realty and Ironbridge, and the loan amount, where it says principal amount, is $346,500 at a 10% interest rate. And it also tells me that this is a note that matures, means it's due on January 8th of 2022.
For context, ma'am, what at this time were traditional mortgage interest rates?
They were at those historic lows, 2.5%, 3.5% for a 30-year mortgage.
And did this loan involve a balloon payment?
It did.
So am I right then that for the 6 months term of the 6-month term of the loan, Kouri Richins did not owe any money?
This one, it was a balloon, but this one did require monthly payments.
Okay. But then everything was due on January the 8th, 2022.
That's correct. So it was started in the summer, and she had the monthly payments on it, and then she had to either refinance or pay it off by January 8th of 2022.
Thank you, Scott. Did Kouri Richins endeavor to refinance?
Yes, she did.
And did she use Excel Financial Services to try to refinance that loan?
Yes, she did.
Real quick, Ms. Karrington, we're going to go through this a few times, but real quick.
This is America First bank account statement for Kouri Darden Richins, her personal account 5244, July of 2021. And then the 3 accounts in the summary section shows that she had $694,730.15 at the month end.
Did you attempt to verify this bank statement?
I did.
5-35A, please, Scott. Ma'am, what does this present?
That this is Kouri Darden Richins' account using that P.O. Box 759, the account number 5244, which is that personal checking account, August of 2021, and the total of the 2 accounts is $1,893.94 at the end of the month.
Ma'am, what does this present?
So this is from the credit union, C&D Stone Masonry's account 7664 in January of 2021. And there are 3 accounts collectively at month end, $694,730.15.
Ma'am, I'm sorry again, was this information that came from Excel Financial Services and its principal, David Ige?
Yes.
Scott, if you could enlarge the bio portion of, thank you. Ms. Karrington, did you analyze Kouri Richins' finances to determine if she employed anyone, and if so, how many employees she had?
Yes.
How many employees did she have?
I don't know how many employees, but the payroll expenses that appear in her bank account statements are in the neighborhood of like $1,500 or $2,500. They're not consistent. So I don't know how many, but it's a very low number.
When you say her payroll expenses are, what did you say, 1,500?
Some of them are $1,500 or in the neighborhood of $2,000 or $2,500. They're not consistent.
Okay. And is it, call it 1,500 to 2,500 weekly, biweekly, monthly?
No, they're occasional, they're periodic, and nothing that would rise to the level of paying, I don't think, paying over 100 people.
Would it rise to the level of paying over 3 people?
Depends on how much they're making.
In your analysis, did you find any evidence that Kouri Richins profited $1 million on any 5 of her deals combined?
No.
Mr. Bloodworth.
Ms. Karrington, what is this document?
This is the operating agreement of Kouri Richins Realty, dated June 7th of 2021. And this was provided by Excel Financial and David Ige in response to a prosecution subpoena.
Thank you. Scott, if you could bring up 5-61, please. And what information does that present?
It's an America First Credit Union statement. It says Kouri Darden Richins in the header for September 2021 for the personal account 5244. And in the summary section, those 3 accounts collectively at the end of September were $169,442.28.
Did you attempt to verify this statement?
I did.
Scott, can you bring up 5-35B? Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
What is it?
This is the America First Credit Union statement for Kouri Darden Richins, her account 5244 for October 2021. This came directly from the credit union. And then if you look in the, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. This came from, in response to a subpoena from the prosecution.
State moves to admit 5-35B.
Same objections.
5-35B is admitted.
Scott, 5-32D. Ma'am, what does this present?
That for the account for C&E Stone Masonry, the account 7664 in September 2021, the 3 accounts collectively were $169,442.28.
Thank you. Scott, if you could start with 524. The Bates number I'm interested, that's that number at the top for the 524s. The Bates number ending in 149. Ma'am, I want to ask you now about a $45,000 set of wire transfers related to the Barney home. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
What is your understanding of the purpose of those wire transfers?
Those were in January of 2022 from Chelsea Barney to Kouri Richins for the purpose of a down payment to buy the 299 Barney house.
So it was a down payment.
Objection to speculation about what it was for and hearsay. Move to strike.
Sustained. Lay some foundation, Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, can the court publish it to the jury?
Yes.
Scott, if you could just slowly, please walk the jury down the text string. Ma'am, is this a text text string between Chelsea Barney and Kouri Richins?
That's my understanding, yes.
And Kouri Richins is in blue, right, at the 1987 number?
I believe so, yes.
Scott, we can stop it there. Thank you. That text exchange mentioned a $45,000 down payment. Did you trace those two wires?
Yes, I did.
Scott, if you could bring up 5-29G at Bates 794. Your Honor, this has already been admitted.
D or G?
G.
Is that correct, Brittany? Okay. Go ahead.
Ms. Karrington, what is this again?
This is the Kouri Richins Realty account statement 6577 for January of 2022 from America First Credit Union.
And when you trace that, those two wires totaling $45,000, did they land in this account?
Yes, they did.
Can you please show us where?
Sure. Scott, can we do well, let's see, it's the middle. We need to go down a little bit to like the 11th. The 12th, like the 11th and 12th. Yes, thank you. So you can see on the 12th, the $26,700 coming in. And then if you go down a few other lines, also on the 12th, down a little bit more right there, that bank-to-bank transfer, that's $18,300 coming into the account. Those are those two wires from Chelsea Barney.
And Scott, if you can move it to the left. At the time they hit the account, what was the account's balance?
It was in the negative $1,996.68.
Did you then trace the funds from this account?
I did.
Can you please show us what happened to that money?
Well, the majority of it, well, a lot of it, almost half, went to the family account, the $19,299 on the 12th, that middle transaction. That went to the family account, the 2204, that says Eric Richinss. That's the joint checking account that Eric and Kouri Richins used for family expenses.
Your Honor, can we just have a continuing objection to this whole line on the same grounds?
Please proceed, Mr. Bloodworth.
And then also there were she paid debt payments.
Okay, so the $19,300 went out. And then how long did it take her to deplete the rest of that $45,000?
Well, we have to account for another $9,000 that came into the account, but it was gone within a few days.
Did any of it go to a mortgage on the Barney home?
No.
What did it go to?
The transaction that's highlighted, the $19,299, that is the same amount that was paid to FundFi, which is one of Kouri Richins' payday lenders.
So that money went from this KRR account to the personal joint account, and
That's
then
correct.
to FundFi to pay off debt.
The part of that's true. So this amount on January 12th went to the family account. And if we go to the family account, you can see right before this payment had been made. So this money going back to the family account replenishes that exact amount.
Let's do that. Let's go to 5-33A. Do you recognize that document?
I do.
What is that?
This is the America First Credit Union statement of the family account 2204 of February of 2022, which includes the January 22 transactions, and this is in response to a prosecution subpoena.
Your Honor, the state moves to admit 5-33A.
Same objections.
533A is admitted.
Can you show us on this account that 299 transaction you were just referencing?
Yes, Scott, I think it's on the second page, yes. Thank you. So you can see on January 10th, a bank-to-bank transfer of $19,299. So that came out of the family account. And I know from tracing this, that went to Fund 5 for Kouri Darden Richins.
And Fund 5 was one of her payday lenders?
Yes.
Scott, can I get Exhibit 5-30, please? Do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
This is the information from America First Credit Union that details the incoming wire, or the outgoing wire, and it was returned in response to a prosecution subpoena.
Your Honor, the state moves to admit 5-30.
Same objections.
5-30 is admitted.
And what information does this present?
This tells us the date at the top left, January 10th, 22. It tells us the amount, that is $19,299 there on the left. And in the middle column, it tells us that it came from the account 2204-9, but 2204. That's the family account. On the right column, it tells us the beneficiary, who's the receiver of the wire, is Fundify Merchant Funding. And then if you go down to the bottom, so the originator is the person who sends the wire, the beneficiary is the one who receives it. So this is instructions or notations from Kouri Richins, or someone who sent this, to pay off K. Richins. That's the instruction.
Let's go back to the loans for a minute. You had testified earlier that the Iron Bridge loan became due on January the 8th, 2022. Is that right?
That's right.
Did Ms. Richins make that balloon payment to satisfy that loan on January the 8th?
No, she did not.
What happened?
She extended that loan for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. She extended the loan, giving her more time to pay it.
And during that time, was she trying to get a new loan from Excel Financial?
That's true, yes.
Why did she submit so many bank statements to Excel Financial?
Object to speculation.
Did you review her correspondence with Excel Financial?
I did.
Did that correspondence explain why she submitted so many bank statements to Excel Financial?
Yes.
Why did she submit so many bank statements to Excel Financial?
Well, initially, the loan was in her name, just Kouri Richins at K. Richins Realty, and she had some bank account statements were submitted for that. And then as the underwriting process went forward, they asked for a co-signer. And so that's when the operating agreement that now showed Doreen Kouri with some ownership of K. Richins Realty, when that was submitted, and also bank account statements were submitted for that. And then another stage where they needed to show a specific amount in a bank account statement in order to close. And the loan then became Doreen Kouri's loan as the principal of K. Richins Realty.
Did K. Richins Realty ever enter into a financing agreement with Excel?
No.
What then happened with the Iron Bridge loan once it was extended once?
It remained unpaid, and it was extended again to March 8th, 2022.
Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, this may be a good point to break.
Any objection, Ms. Nestor?
No, sir.
1240 reasonable, Mr. Bloodworth?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Nestor?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, normal instructions. Please don't talk about the case. You'll have access to your devices, and so please be careful to not read, watch, or listen to any report about the case from any source. Please don't do any research about the case. You're welcome to talk to each other about all kinds of other things, but not this case. Please rise for the jury. Have a seat, folks. Thank you. Mr. Bloodworth, anything else on the record before we break for lunch?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor?
No, sir.
Ms. Karrington, please don't consult with anyone regarding your testimony during the lunch break.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back at 12:40. Court's in recess. Thank you.